Hello, welcome to my presentation. This is the literature review presentation. My name is Robert Kotaki, and my dissertation topic is correlation between refugee education, program completion, and professional employment outcomes. And so let's start off by introducing you to the program of practice. Despite extensive pre-migration training and credentials, highly skilled refugees often cannot access career-aligned employment. Studies consistently describe this as brain waste, and it is caused by credential and recognition, language barriers, and limited professional networks. My dissertation seeks to understand how participation in structured education and job readiness programs, such as the IPAP, which I will describe here, may support refugees' return to professional employment. Now, let me explain what the IPAP means. Now, to ground this discussion, I want to briefly introduce the program that my dissertation evaluates, the Integrated Professional Advancement Program, or the IPAP. IPAP is a Chicago-based initiative designed specifically for highly skilled refugees who arrive with strong educational and professional backgrounds, but face significant barriers to returning to their careers. The program includes four major components: credential evaluation, structured mentorship, applied MBA level coursework, and certification and job readiness support. So the goal here is to rebuild human capital. People come from their foreign countries to the USA in their careers, but when they reach the USA, they are unable to access the jobs in their particular preferred careers. So the goal is to rebuild that human capital, expand social capital, and strengthen self-efficacy. Those are the three theoretical pillars guiding this dissertation. Every theme and finding in this literature review connects directly to the structure and rationale of the IPAP, which I will continue to highlight throughout this presentation. The goal of this review is to explain what empirical studies reveal about the factors shaping refugees' employment outcomes and how interventions, especially education-focused programs, affect professional reintegration. This thesis clarifies why a program like IPAP is theoretically and practically important. Although my chapter 3 will focus deeply on the theory, this presentation uses theory only to guide interpretation. The three theories are the human capital, social capital, and the self-efficacy, and they appear across the studies reviewed. And they help explain why education attainment, networking, and confidence matter for professional integration. Now, there are 5 themes which emerge consistently as I synthesize the research. These show the complexity of the refugee workforce integration, and they inform my dissertation design. And these are the employment barriers and integration challenges, education and e-learning pathways, structural and policy barriers, social and psychological dimensions, and lastly, gaps in literature. So these show the complexity of refugee workforce integration, and they have helped inform my dissertation design as well. So let's go one by one. So let's start with the theme 1. The first theme, employment barriers. Bloch's mixed methods study showed extreme underemployment among skilled refugees. And Dean and Wilson revealed the psychological toll of credential rejection. Jamil and others found that job search training and networking support employment success. Together, these studies show that barriers are both structural and psychosocial. For IPAP, this means that training alone is not sufficient. Participants need credential advocacy, emotional support, and opportunities to build meaningful networks. Education and e-learning path as pathways. This is the second theme. Now, education is a powerful reintegration tool. E-learning increases confidence and learning and language skills. University pathways help rebuild professional identity. Agel and Strang remind us that integration is multidimensional. Education enhances outcomes when connected to supportive relationships. What are the implications of this theme for IPAP? One, these findings demonstrate why IPAP blends academic instruction with real-world mentorship and online training. Education must be paired with social connection to produce professional outcomes. Okay, let's look at theme 3, the structure and policy barriers. These studies mentioned here highlight the deep structure barriers that keep skilled refugees out of professional roles. Licensing processes, employer perceptions, policy integrations, all shape opportunities. Rapid placement models are especially problematic because they push refugees into survival jobs without long-term mobility. So when refugees come into the country, they are placed into the rapid placement programs, and these are problematic because they push those refugees into the survival jobs, and those survival jobs do not have um, any long-term mobility. So we move to theme 4, um, the social and psychological dimensions. These studies demonstrate that social and psychological factors profoundly shape employment trajectories. Resiliency, optimism, and identity all determine how refugees navigate obstacles. What are the implications of this theme for IPAP? Um, this theme highlights why IPAP integrates mentorship circles and confidence building activities. Supporting identity and efficacy is essential for continued or for sustained career growth. Okay, and now let's look at the cross-study synthesis. The overarching conclusion is clear. Education, mentorship, and systematic advocacy must operate together to support professional integration or reintegration. Now, what are the gaps in the literature? The key gaps are there's few US-based studies on professional refugees. There's limited research on integrated intervention models. There's lack of longitudinal evidence. There's limited focus on credential recognition processes as part of intervention. Now, these gaps underscore the need for my dissertation. IPAP represents a model that is not yet well documented in research, and that's what we aim to do in this dissertation. Now, how literature informs IPAP. Now, because IPAP aligns with the strongest evidence across these studies, this dissertation not only fills a research gap, but it evaluates a program grounded in well-supported theory. And now, this table is my literature review table. This table summarizes the methodologies, findings, and theoretical contributions of 15 empirical studies analyzed in my review. And this is the other one. And in conclusion, the literature clearly supports programs that combine education, skills, training, and mentorship and structure advocacy. My dissertation evaluates whether IPAP successfully operationalizes these components to improve professional outcomes for skilled refugees in Chicago. In conclusion, as you can see, also here are the references that are being used throughout my dissertation. All right. Thank you so much for listening to me.